Joining us now to talk about something a little bit different, nothing to do with this case, the United Healthcare CEO case. Is Bryan Rotella, founder and managing partner of GenCo Legal, but you have the knowledge of this area. Brian, is it a surprise to you they found him not guilty after they said hung on the first count, let's make it a lesser count, and they just found him not guilty?
Well, hey, Brian, I have to say after this past year with the different rulings we have, anything would not surprise me. But we have an adage in the law, especially those of us who've tried cases, the jury usually gets it right. This jury got it right. You said it in the lead-in. This isn't a hung jury. They found Daniel Penny not guilty. The ramifications of this for future actions, people on subways, people on airplanes, people anywhere in public transportation are now not going to think they could be facing 14 years in prison if they do what Danny Penny did, that personally, my opinion, was protecting individuals and potentially saving lives. One item, though, Brian, it's not all over. Remember, he was sued by the individual that was involved in this. He was sued by his father, the decedent's father. So he's going to have to deal with this in the civil setting still. He's going to have to pay lawyers, and he's going to have to go through a civil lawsuit. But all that aside, this was a great day, in my opinion, for justice and for Daniel Penny.
You would think these people would be too embarrassed that they let this lunatic out with drugs all over his body, sickle cell in every one of his organs, and so out there threatening on camera all these other people, eyewitnesses, and now they want to still civilly. Why? You know, they shouldn't have let him out to begin with, but we'll see where that goes. And I do know he's got so much money that was donated to him. I do think this case would be, you know, he'd be able to pay for these attorneys, in other words. I don't think there's any doubt about it. And Thomas Cuniff, I think he is somebody, an attorney that led this case, has got to feel pretty good about himself. We'll continue to follow this, but in case you do not know, Danny Penny has been found not guilty, and he's leaving the courtroom right now. People on the outside aren't happy. Some are absolutely thrilled. I am thrilled. Brian, the other thing is the assassination of the United Healthcare CEO. Why do you think it is that there are people who are cheering this? College professors, other people out there mocking it, SNL having fun with it. Why is it that assassination in plain sight in the country's biggest city, most dense city, would be cheering this?
I think it's sick, first and foremost, to state the obvious. And it concerns me more than anything about this is a potential Columbine effect. I think you know what I mean by that. After Columbine, we saw copycats. We've been dealing with that now for, 25 years in the school shooting sense. I deal with CEOs every day, especially in healthcare, which is so personal to all of us when decisions are made. CEOs get threats. Leaders in healthcare get threats. I've had nursing home administrators get threats on their lives. This person was assassinated. I did not know him. I do know people who know him and said he was a really good person, and he left some children behind. What worries me is two things. One, about the crisis and security that we have with healthcare in general, meaning that healthcare professionals, but also other executives in highly regulated and visible industries, including media, Brian, they don't think they need private secret service. They don't like the look of it. Now, I don't know if that was the case with Brian Thompson, but there is some indication it may have been. I think this is going to change. I can tell you, people like me, lawyers and people, risk professionals, have been begging many of our executive leaders to take this seriously and realize that security doesn't mean guards and gates and guns. It means doing basic risk assessments. I don't know if that would have changed the outcome here, but I think you're going to see a lot of CEOs and companies behaving differently, and that's a good thing.
Here's a CBS put it this way, how people are just fed up, kind of what you were saying, Cut 47.
You think that I didn't need anesthesia to have surgery? You're insane.
One thing Americans can agree on, their dislike of the health insurance industry.
We're fighting with the insurance company over her dialysis to keep her alive.
On social media, pent-up frustration spilling out into public view. One possible reason, 12% of claims were denied last year, a 20% increase from 2020. While a 2023 survey found nearly 60% of insured adults experienced some issue with their coverage in the previous year.
The system is broken.
57-year-old Roseanne Neal fought breast cancer twice and then battled her insurance company over a follow-up mammogram in 2015. Neil says her $800 reimbursement was denied 3 times.
When you're not feeling well and still recovering from certain surgeries and you have to deal with an insurance company, it just compounds the emotional and psychological toll.
So that's just a little of why people feel the way they do about healthcare companies. These are the personal stories, Brian, you deal with on a regular basis, right?
Absolutely, Brian. And what a lot of people aren't talking about is there's a role of artificial intelligence that crosses over into this. It's been reported, not as much as I think it maybe should be in the media, but there was a class action lawsuit filed against United Healthcare last year that said that people thought that artificial intelligence was being used to do what's called batch denying, basically going through claims in milliseconds or seconds compared to having individuals and humans in the loop looking at these claims. So now there's studies showing that there's been an uptick since we've had AI, and there's been a question as to whether insurance companies are using artificial intelligence for denials. In the age of RFK being our new Health and Human Services Director and transparency, one thing I hope for in this new administration is we get transparency on insurance coverage as well. All those people that we just heard in your clip, I think instead of getting a letter that none of us, you shouldn't have to have me, a healthcare lawyer, understand a letter about a denial that you get, and 1 in 5 people will face a denial this year from insurance. We need transparency in how our claims are being assessed by insurance companies in a way that everybody can understand it. That's something I think would be a very positive change for the industry. And candidly, I think it's something the industry would applaud.
Yeah, I think so too. Thanks a lot, Brian. Appreciate you joining us today. He's with GenCo Legal, founder and managing partner, and you can follow him at Rotella Legal. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it.